Last season was an unmitigated disaster for the Knicks. The Knicks were hoping to build off a really good 2020-21 season in which they finished as the 4th seed and broke an 8-year playoff drought. The additions of Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier was supposed to help them build off that success, but they somehow got worse, going from the 4th seed in 2021 to the 11th seed in 2022. Last season was a perfect example of Murphy's Law, where everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
God damn it!
Julius Randle secured the bag last offseason and then fell off a cliff. Derrick Rose missed almost the entire year due to injury, and Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier simply didn't provide the offensive spark that the front office was hoping they would while not playing any defense. To fix these problems, Leon Rose gave Kemba Walker the boot and then added Jalen Brunson in free agency. He picked up Isaiah Hartenstein, and he also re-upped both RJ Barrett and Mitchell Robinson with 4-year extensions. So how much do these moves improve the team? How many games will the Knicks win this season? And where will they finish in the standings? Let's talk about it. But before we continue, I'm trying to hit 15,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I really want to reach that goal. So please, if you enjoy the content, please drop a like on the video and hit that subscribe button. A few days ago, I put a poll on this channel where I asked you guys how many wins do you think the Knicks will get this season, and the most popular opinion seemed to be 40 to 45 wins, and I would agree that the Knicks probably finish somewhere within that range. One of the biggest reasons the Knicks should get better is the addition of Jalen Brunson. For the first time in God knows how long, the Knicks have a high-quality starting point guard. Last season, Brunson averaged 16 points and 5 assists per game on 50% shooting from the field and 37% from 3. But there's reason to believe he's much better than what those numbers would indicate. Last season, Jalen Brunson played in a heliocentric offense around Luka. Now, this would be obvious to anybody that actually watched Mavs games last year, but to prove this claim, Luka ranked 4th in the entire NBA in touches per game last season. Luka also led the entire NBA in usage percentage. So Brunson had limited opportunities to handle the ball. In 17 games without Luka, Brunson put up all-star numbers averaging 20 points and 7 assists per game on 49% shooting from the field. He also played extremely well in the playoffs for a Dallas team that got all the way to the Western Conference Finals. What's really impressive is that in the first round Jazz series, Brunson led Dallas to a 2-1 series lead without Luka, dropping 41 points in Game 2 and 31 points in Game 3. Overall, Brunson averaged 21 points and 4 assists per game for the Mavericks in the playoffs. With Brunson, the Knicks are getting an excellent scorer and playmaker that'll help to jumpstart their mediocre offense. Despite being just 6 foot tall, Brunson is one of the most efficient scoring point guards. In fact, his 50% field goal percentage last season led all point guards in the NBA. Thanks to his speed and nice handle, he could get in the paint at will where he's an amazing finisher. The Knicks are in desperate need of Brunson's scoring, but what will really increase the team's offense is his passing. Brunson is an excellent playmaker and adept at running the pick and roll. Mitchell Robinson will be one of the top beneficiaries of Brunson's passing, getting set up for lob after lob. Overall, Brunson not only gives the Knicks a much needed talent upgrade at point guard, but his rim pressure, playmaking, and leadership will unlock the Knicks offense and to some degree take offensive pressure off of Julius Randle. If Brunson is able to become a consistent scoring threat, this may be the thing that Randle needs to allow him to be more efficient. With Brunson, Randle has the chance to get plenty of open looks right at the rim instead of isolating for so many baskets. Randle also has to shoot the ball much better. In his All-Star season, he hit 41% from deep. He may not ever shoot the ball that well again, but if Randle can hit 36% from deep, that'll definitely increase the Knicks' chances of winning. A good outside shot from Randle would create driving lanes for his teammates, along with improving his own efficiency. He also needs to have a much better attitude and be a better teammate as well. Overall, the Knicks need a much better version of Randle next year if they hope to make some noise in the East. The Knicks are also going to need a lot more from RJ Barrett. Barrett's scoring went up to 20 points per game last season, which is great, but his efficiency regressed, only shooting 41% from the field. While RJ gets to the rim at the level of the league's all-stars, he's statistically the worst high-volume finisher in the NBA. RJ is not a next-level athlete like other slashers, so he needs to get a lot more crafty. He also needs to be much better at shooting off the bounce. Those are two areas that need to improve for RJ to become a premier scorer in the NBA. And whether RJ makes the All-Star leap or not will be a huge factor for the Knicks' success next season. A big strength of the Knicks this upcoming season should be their defense. Even though the Knicks were mediocre last year, they at the very least did manage to have a top 10 defense. And this was largely thanks to the presence of Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson is one of the best defensive anchors in the NBA. He's statistically one of the best shot blockers and best rebounders, and he has the strength to guard the best post-up centers in the NBA while still having the agility to switch on the perimeter players. And along with Mitchell Robinson, the Knicks have some very good perimeter defenders between RJ Barrett and Quentin Grimes. Now, if Tibbs makes the no-brainer decision to bring Evan Fournier off the bench, who's a defensive liability, and start Quentin Grimes, the Knicks have a chance to defend at a very high level next season. Another strength of this team should be their bench. Getting Derrick Rose back is huge because his scoring and playmaking off the bench was sorely missed last year. Emmanuel Quickley and Obi Toppin looked really good to close out last season and should be ready to make third-year leaps, and Isaiah Hartenstein will provide shooting and passing at the center position alongside good defense. We also can't forget Cam Reddish, who's headed into a big contract year and certainly wants to prove his worth this season. Overall, this is a bench unit that should be regularly outscoring other teams' benches. The Knicks have a deep roster, but the main weakness on the team that could keep them from returning to the playoffs is a lack of high-end talent. As of right now, the Knicks don't have any all-star caliber players on the roster, and all-stars are needed to make the postseason, especially in an Eastern Conference that got much better over the offseason. But this could all change if one or two of the Knicks' core players make an all-star leap, which is certainly possible. So how many games will the Knicks win, and where do they finish in the standings? I agree with my voters who had the Knicks in the 40 to 45 win range. The Knicks certainly look good on paper, but a lot has to go right for them to be substantially better. The Knicks will probably need RJ Barrett or Julius Randle to play at an all-star level, along with Jalen Brunson building off what he did in Dallas to beat these expectations. We also have to consider how tough the East is as a conference. Last year, 44 wins wasn't even enough to avoid the play-in tournament, and the Cavaliers got much better with the Donovan Mitchell trade, and the Hawks got much better with the DeJounte Murray trade. Not to mention, there's other juggernauts in the East like the Nets, like the Heat, like the Boston Celtics, although they're in a state of turmoil right now, the Sixers, and the Milwaukee Bucks. That's 7 teams I just mentioned that all look better on paper than the Knicks, and I didn't even mention the Raptors and the Chicago Bulls, who were top 6 seeds in the East last year. The East as a whole is pretty deep with very few pushover teams. Almost every game will be a dogfight. So I'm predicting that the Knicks will go 42-40 next season and finish as the 9th seed. But I would love to be proven wrong and would love to see the Knicks play above these expectations. If enough things do go right, I can envision a world where the Knicks can avoid the play-in tournament and make the playoffs. How many games do you think the Knicks will win next season? Tell me in the comments. Also, before you guys head out, please follow my cousin Elijah Moore on Instagram. He's one of the top high school basketball players in the country. He's a 6'5" shooting guard. He ranks 74th for the top basketball recruits for the class of 2024, according to 24/7 Sports. He's from the Bronx. He goes to Cardinal Hayes High School. So if you want to support a local product, please follow my cousin on his Instagram at ChopperFan1. I'll put his link in the description. But anyway, I appreciate everyone who stuck around to the end. Back to the Knicks, they were pretty wise to not pull the trigger on the Donovan Mitchell trade and to commit to developing their young guys. Click this video to see why the Knicks were smart to not trade for Donovan Mitchell.